Yeah. None. It's 5:30 p.m. Call this meeting to order. We're going to open up with the invocation by Pastor Marcus Dunham with the Church on the Rock. Everybody please rise and please remain standing for the pledges of allegiance.
All right, guys, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father God, we just thank you for the opportunity, God, that we're able to come together today under your name, Father. Lord God, I pray that you would be with us today, God, during this meeting, Father. God, I pray that you would lead, God, our leaders, God, of our city, Father. God, I pray that the conversation today would be productive. And ultimately, God, what we do, God, is ultimately for you, Father. God, I pray you would be with us, guard us, protect us. In the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
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 And please join me in saying the pledges to the flags of our country and of our state. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. Citizen comments. At this time, members of the audience may comment on any city-related subject not on the agenda. Anyone wishing to speak shall sign in before the meeting with your name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise allowed by City Council. Thank you, sir. The Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the council from discussing items not listed on the agenda. A member of the audience that desires to speak during City Council's consideration of any specific agenda items is requested to notify city staff prior to the start of the meeting. So citizen comments, Jacqueline Toops, 613 North 14th Street.
Yes, my name is Jacqueline Toops. I live at 613 North 14th. I just want to talk a little bit about, we had our first zoning board of appeals meeting recently, the first one we've had this year. And there was a lot of chaos and stuff going on at, and I want citizens to know and the board to help with this. There is things that we are to do, and I think we tried to do that the best we could at this meeting. But there is a misconception with a lot of citizens that once they're through with the zoning board of appeals, they are to come to the council. And that is wrong, because the council is the legislative board. The appeals board is a judicial board. The only place they can go once the zoning board of appeals has done, or the zoning appeals board has done, is to file with the court. That is their next step. And when they do that, there are several people that can do that. It is not just the people that have feel like they've been wronged by the decision of the board. It is that person, it is a taxpayer, not limited to in their area, but it is a taxpayer. It is an officer, department, board, or bureau or municipality that can also file that. So if something was given by the board that somebody within the city, within a department or something else feels like is going to cause a problem, such as too close of an encroachment on, let's say, an alleyway that has utilities running in it, then the departments or somebody with the city can also file the same writ with the court. That can be done. Now, my suggestion is for people to understand this is that Mr. Wheeler create a pamphlet to be given out after these meetings for anybody that feels like they want to appeal, they want to do something. It gives them the steps that they can do. But when we hand that out, I feel like they need to sign for it. So there will never be a question of this person not knowing what they are to do. The board has informed them of what the next step is. And I think that would stop a lot of confusion. It would give a lot of transparency to the citizens here in Nederland. Because I think that's one thing that they have not had in the past, and I'm not saying with y'all, I'm just saying in the past, is the transparency of the next steps that they can do, and that it can be anyone, any taxpayer can do it. It is not limited to
You're-
just the people that are in that area.
Your 3 minutes is up, and
Okay.
I thank you for your comments, and Ms. Dowden was taking copious notes, so if you want to be in further contact with her during the week, certainly feel free.
Let's look into some, maybe some printed media, see if we can communicate that a little better down there. I think that would be appropriate. Thank you.
Number 4, consent agenda. All consent agenda items listed are considered to be routine by city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. A, minutes, October 13th, 2025 regular meeting and October 6th, 2025 special meeting. B, September 2025 departmental reports. C, tax assessor collector report, tax assessor collection report, September 2025, and D, discussion and possible action to approve a request from the Nederland Little Dribblers to utilize the Nederland Recreation Center for practices on Tuesday and Thursday evenings for November 2025 through February 2026. And I understand, Council Member Jones, you have a request to separate something?
Yeah, consent agenda item A, minutes from the October 13th, 2025 meeting. I have a correction to propose.
Okay, and it says there'll be routine, no separate unless a council member so requests. Does it really take a motion, or can a single council member request that? I defer to my more experienced
Single councilman.
It's a single council
One
member.
motion,
So
so
it-
that's
it-
my
you-
motion.
you don't make a motion.
Yeah.
There's no motion, you just request.
Yeah.
It just becomes item G in the
A
regular.
request to remove item A from the consent agenda for discussion.
Okay, okay,
I'll second the motion.
okay. Well, without objection, so ordered. Let's just cut to the chase. Okay. Do you want to go in and handle the 13th one then separately now and then do the consent agenda? Is that how y'all usually did it, Randy? How would
But
y'all-
listen here, we can accept it here. We've just taken that one item off and we'll
Right.
cover it down there. in the-
And cover it down there regularly. Oh, got it, got it.
We put it away.
Other than what we just put to the side, anything else on consent agenda?
I have a question on consent agenda item before D. Is that's an action item, so wouldn't we need to vote on?
No, that's part of the consent agenda.
Approved by consent. I just thought it said
Right.
possible action.
There,
so-
there is a motion there. Now, to approve the consent agenda requires a motion, second, any discussion.
Yeah, right.
So, and then if passed, the whole of the consent agenda would be approved other than the item we just pulled out at your request. Right.
Okay, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Duplant, second by Ortiz to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion, council? Any questions, comments by the citizens? Seeing no one at the microphone. All in favor of the consent agenda, other than the item we pulled out, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Now let's just, yeah, we'll make it, I guess, item H. So let's not forget that item. Remind me, Britton, item H is your thing.
All right.
Because if you do, we'll have to do it next time. Waste time. Okay, 5, regular agenda, new business. A, presentation by Tina Martinez with the Veterans of Foreign Wars, post 4820. Sergeant Martinez. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mayor Darby and the Nederland City Council for allowing me to speak this evening. My name is Tina Martinez. I'm the Senior Vice Commander of Veteran Foreign Wars, Post 4820 in Port Neches, Texas. We serve veterans and provide community services and assistance for veterans throughout Southeast Texas. I would like to speak about women in the military and some of the ways that we provide peace and stability in America and how we defended our country. From the battlefields of the American Revolution to the deserts of Iraq and Afghanistan, women have been serving in the military since the earliest beginnings of our country. During the Revolutionary War, women weren't always permitted to enlist in the U.S. Armed Forces, but they have always served. Women served in George Washington's Continental Army, and many soldiers were wives, sisters, daughters who went to war side by side with regular soldiers. These women traveled alongside the Continental Army, where they mended clothes, tended to wounds, cleaned laundry, and cannons. They filled the gap and found ways to fight for what they believed in, America. During Civil War, at least 3,000 women served as nurses in the Union Army alone. Around 1,000 women disguised themselves as men and fought on both sides of the Civil War. During World War I, U.S. Army Nurse Corps deployed more than 3,000 American nurses who served in British-operated hospitals in France. During this time of war, women were allowed to serve in the military, but they did not have the right to vote. Go figure. From September 1939 to 1945, women in the military assisted and supported America during World War II in various ways. The Army had the WACs, Women Army Corps, is the 6th AAA, an all-Black battalion made up of 855 women. They worked 3 shifts per day, delivering 65 pieces of mail per day to clear the backlog of 17.5 million pieces of mail in 3 months. That's just amazing. The Navy had the WAYS, Women Accepted Volunteer Emergency Service, and the Marines and the Coast Guard had the Women Reserves. Nearly 350,000 American women served in uniform during World War II, and 57,000 of them were the Army Nurse Corps. Many of these women worked right on the front lines and came under enemy fire. They were some of the earliest women to be awarded combat decorations. President Truman signed the Women Armed Services Integration Act into 1948. This officially allowed women to ability to serve as full permanent members of all branches of the armed forces. 1 month later, President Truman issued the Integration Act of the Armed Forces Executive Order, desegregating the military, ensuring that all Black women could serve equally in all branches of our military. 2 years later, and the Korean War broke out, 120,000 women would go on to serve in active duty positions from 1950 to 1953. Approximately 11,000 women served in Vietnam, and 90% of them were nurses, and they didn't get paid. December 20th, 1989, U.S. Army Captain Linda Bray with the 988th Military Police Company was the first woman to lead her troops into Operation Just Cause, invasion of Panama at Noriega's Panamanian Defense Headquarters, and fought with troops. They overrode the PDS grip on the area, and she received an Army Commendation of Valor. In 1994, President Bill Clinton rescinded the risk rule, allowing women to serve anywhere in the military except for direct ground troops. Combat roles. This allowed many more women to engage in combat as aviators, sailors, Air Force personnel, and other roles. Since 2001, over 300,000 women served in Iraq, Afghanistan, and over 9,000 of them earned combat action badges. Today, women make up 18% of our nation's armed forces, serving with distinctions. I'm almost done.
Yep.
Please be patient.
Keep going.
It's a lot to cover. In 2013, Defense Secretary Leon Panetta lifted the ban on women in combat entirely. Female service members would be allowed to serve in direct combat roles. In 2015, it was put into action. In August of this year, Carol Whitmore was the first woman commander of our National Veterans of Foreign Wars. We're so proud of her. She was an Iraq veteran and former Master Sergeant. Hoo-ah! There are 41,000 women serving in our Texas VFW, and we have 9 women in our posts. 3 of them are officers. I'm one. We served in Korea, Iraq, and other overseas countries, and our great United States. Our military is changing daily, folks. Cutting defense programs and committees, raising standards to the male standards will not stop us women from serving in the military, nor combat positions. We have always been there for our country for over 250 years. We're not going to quit now. Our military may lose 20% due to politics, increased standards, overweight soldiers, looks, and gender roles, but we must toughen up and fight that battle. In closing, thank you, Mayor Darby, and our committee. That's it, folks. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Veteran is my passion, and if we have any combat soldiers, we're recruiting, so you can come.
Once a sergeant first class, always a sergeant first class, correct? All right.
Thank you.
Just do what your E7 says. You'll have an easy time. Until the sergeant major comes along. All right. B, discussion regarding water treatment plant maximum contaminant level violation notification letter. Ms. Dell.
Mayor and Council, Michael Mitchell, the Water Treatment Plant Supervisor, will discuss the TCQ violation notification letter sent to water utility customers recently and be available to answer questions.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you remember on October 13th, the situation arose too late for it to be on the agenda. Mr. Mitchell did provide a very good briefing during citizen comments, but because it was citizen comments by the Texas Open Meetings Act, the council could not question him and members of the public could not question him. So now that's on the agenda, both council and the public are authorized by law to ask any questions. So Mr. Mitchell, the floor is yours.
All right, Michael Mitchell, City of Nederland Water Treatment Plant Supervisor. I have a short slideshow about the TTHM and HA5 violation that occurred. All right, first off, what are HA5s and TTHMs? They are disinfection byproducts formed when disinfectants like chlorine react with natural organic matter in the drinking water. HAA5 is haloacidic acids. TTHM is total trihalomethanes. We are required by EPA and TCEQ. They set our monitoring frequency. We are considered a large system because we're above 10,000. So it's 4 samples per quarter per treatment plant. TCEQ uses contract samplers to collect all TTHM and HA5 samples used for compliance. We do not contract it out. We get the phone call. We are told when they're coming. And we're not allowed to tell them no or yes or anything like that. So that is, and then they send the samples to the Lower Colorado River Authority, or the Department of State Health is usually who they send ours to. So we had a violation, and what constitutes it is the locational running annual average for the sites went above 0.06 for HA5 and 0.08 for TTHMs. It is calculated using the last 4 quarters from each sample and location. So here's what happened. Our water system recently violated a drinking water standard. According to EPA, TCEQ, this is not an emergency. If it had been, they would have let us know immediately. Long-term exposure to high levels may pose a health risk. You do not need to boil your water or take immediate action. Of course, this water was from June. It's not the current water. So if we exceed the limits, we have to issue a public notice, which is what you got. TCEQ has multiple steps for this process. Once they get the results back from the lab, they do an operational evaluation report. And then I'll come back to that. Before the violation is sent out, they have to do that report. So if they let us know it's exceeded, we go out, we flush the lines, which we were already doing because we were on free chlorine. We didn't need to adjust it because we know we were doing a free chlorine burn over the system. They take the previous 2 quarters plus the current quarter to get their evaluation level. If it's exceeded, they report it, and then we get the notification. The cause of our evaluation was because we were on a free chlorine during the month of June. The results are from Q2 of 2025. They are not a normal representation of our quarterly levels. The last time the city had a violation was in 2004 and in early 2005. We have not exceeded or even come close to exceeding the MCL since then, minus this in June. So why do we go to free chlorine? It is it's a preventative maintenance measure. All cities in the state of Texas and other states in the US go to it. What it is to control biofilm and nitrification. During a free chlorine conversion, it's critical that we flush, and that is why the numbers were so high during this, because we were at the end of the flush. We were going back on July 1st. And so we were finishing, we flush from the plant and work our way out. So we were flushing everything out to the dead ends, and that's where most of these samples are taken, is at the higher age of water. The reason why we flush, and we've been flushing, we flush every week, is to get rid of the organic buildup in the biofilm, gets the free chlorine out when we're on free chlorine, and it gets fresh water to the far reaches of the city. They expect the levels to temporarily increase during this time. Free chlorine is more reactive than chloramines, and so we're not allowed to be on it 24/7, where we are allowed to go to it certain times of the year or only so many times. Because the free chlorine increases the disinfection byproducts, TTHM and HAA5s. EPA, this spike says that this spike is expected and temporary. The health risk, there's long-term health risk, which you all read that in the letter if you received it. I'm gonna go to the short-term, days to weeks. It's generally low. It spikes due to main water breaks, chlorine change, which that's what our issue was. There's usually no immediate health effects. It does say that sensitive groups, infants, elderly, immunocompromised may experience mild irritation or gastrointestinal symptoms. EPA and state agencies like TCEQ consider short-term exceedances not an emergency, but they do require a notice if we are above the MCL. Long-term exposure is months to years, and they consider the long-term exposure if the water is above the MCL, not normal levels. So what the EPA considers on this one here is the same information as the bottom, is that an average adult drinks 2 liters of water every single day for 70 years, and that water has to be above the MCL, the maximum contaminant level, and it may cause health problems. This is from EPA, TCEQ, NIH. You can find it all online. Our samples in Q1 were all in compliance. Q2 is the one the letters were sent out about. Q3, the samples were in compliance, but due to the locational running annual average, that's why we had to send, that's why we're continuing to send out the violation. So I have some of the same information from last time. If you go to the Texas Drinking Water Watch, you can get multiple samples of every kind that we run that are on that site. You can go to TCEQ and get the disinfection byproducts information from their site. You can go to EPA and get their information. This is TCEQ Region 10 in Beaumont. That is their main phone number. You can give them a call, ask them any questions. They will answer them. This is TCEQ Austin. That's their main line, and that is the email for the DBP. If you call the number, you need to tell them you need to speak to someone in the DBP team. This way they can direct your questions to somebody that's qualified to answer them. This is my contact information. I'm always available to have a conversation. If I'm not there, I will call you back. And if I cannot answer your question, we will get the information and I can get it over to you.
I'll start off, council. If we didn't do the chlorine flush, we would probably get letters from CEQ for allowing a buildup of other things.
Other violations because the chlorine residual was dropping out. We were having to go out every single day and flush, and our nitrification was increasing. And those are worse health problems than the TTHMs because of the long-term health above the maximum contaminant level.
So
We
we
addressed that issue by going to free. And again, it was a scheduling conflict with the lab, with the sampler, out of our control there.
if the sampler would have come in May like they had said they would,
Yes,
none of this would have happened.
correct.
And you always do a chlorine flush in June, I believe you said.
It's roughly around that time. It says as we run every week, we run the 4 sites that they do. We go to those sites and we grab the chlorine residuals and see what they're doing, the nitrification, and that gives us our trend to see what's going on. The level still would have been high in the water. So we can't control that, but it's expected temporary, and every city, if they grab it on free, it's gonna be high because of how it leaches everything in, and that's what you're flushing and cleaning.
So we were in a catch 22. We do one thing, we're going to get a letter. We don't do that one thing, we're going to
Correct.
get a letter.
And not having them come out is worse. And then like I said, this is a non-acute health violation as opposed to an acute, which if we don't chlorinate the water, it's worse than the TTHM.
Right. Other council members.
Yeah, I had a question. So I wanted to clarify from the comment section we had at the last meeting. Just to be clear, the water is no longer in violation as of this moment, correct?
Correct. The water that the samples are actually coming Thursday for the fourth quarter samples. This water is fine. It's the locational running annual average
Right.
now that is going to cause another letter to be sent out. Until that level drops below 0.08 and 0.06, the letter has to be sent out each quarter. This letter covered quarter 2 and quarter 3.
Okay. So until we get that average back down, we're going to have to continue to send the letters, even though in the present moment, the water is compliant.
Correct. It's just
Okay.
because of the annual average.
Second part of my question. So this violation occurred in June.
Correct.
The letters went out early September.
October 8th.
October, I'm sorry.
That's when
Sorry, I get
they-
my months mixed up. So we're mandated to use a certain sampler from TCQ. We don't have any say in that when they come.
Correct.
If they would have come when we expected them to, as far as not being behind, do you believe we would have had this violation?
We would not have had any violation.
So it was totally out of our control. They were behind, the lab was behind. You'd also mentioned that Water District 10,
They're going to
Went
be
through the
sending
exact
the letter
same
out
thing.
just as long, if not longer than us.
because of the lab was
Yes,
behind.
Same exact sampler, same exact lab.
Any other council member? Yep. Any member of the public?
Keith Bass, 2415 Avenue E. So this is just for record's sake. The city's not at fault, and you as a supervisor and your department are not at fault for the water that was sampled in June. We don't pick the sampler, the date, the time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. The letter, whenever it was bad in June and it didn't get sent in October, whose responsibility is that to send those letters out?
It is the city's, but we did not receive the violation letter. It was drafted September 10th.
So that's sampler TCQ.
And
And-
once it goes to TCQ, then it goes to the OEL department, and they look at it, and then they let the public notice team know that, okay, they had a violation, and then we get the letter. September 10th is when it was drafted. We received it, I believe, the 13th or 14th. And then by the time I had to send in the OEL report or the OER report to the OEL department. Once I got that sent in, and then I had to send in their letter. They send us what we fill in the blanks. We're not allowed to use or say what we have to. We're only allowed to put anything in bold on that letter is all I was allowed to fill in and put. And then I have to wait, let them look at it to make sure that we're not putting anything wrong. So by the time I got that back, we got them printed and sent out. It was October 8th. And if you go to the Texas Drinking Water Watch website, it shows there on top, it says violations. You click on that, it shows September the 10th is our date there. So all the paperwork shows September the 10th on our violation. So I understand people are concerned that it took so long, but that was completely out of our hands. If we're not allowed to send out violation letters without their approval, just like if we ever have to go to boil water notice, I have to call them immediately and say, hey, here's what went on, get their approval. I can't just, but that's an emergency. They have a 24-hour number for that. This is regular hours and it's not considered an emergency.
So that was my next question. There's a lot of people online that are blaming you, the water treatment, mayor and council, that we're hiding something. They're not being transparent. According to the header on here that was sent from the state, that's September 10th. There was nothing that anybody here in our immediate supervision could have done anything to get a letter out beforehand. So the water in June is now gone.
Yes.
And as Mr. Britton Jones had asked, the water we have now is good.
Correct.
All the restaurants can use the water,
Correct.
all the schools.
Yes.
Nursing
There's
homes.
no issues. Chlorine residuals are good. They're, like I said, they're coming Thursday. Last quarter of these samples on that drinking water website, it lists. Like I said, there's every analyte or test they run is on there. And I have 20 years of TTHMs and about 16 of the HAA fives that I was able to print off there to go back and show that minus water through samples, we have not busted since 2004, early 2005. And at that time, it was believed the source water because the other cities around us all had busted the same issues.
So that letter we received was for the busted quarter. We're gonna receive another one in the next couple of weeks
No,
for the
it-
overall.
The letter that just went out was for quarter 2 and quarter 3 because they sent us quarter 2 letter and I had it typed up. And then while I was proofing it and getting it over to the city manager, they sent the quarter 3 violation. That was not due till December something, but I talked to TCQ, and that's why it took another couple of days to get approval to send them both out at the same time. Because otherwise, it was gonna be a very high cost to send these out. And then again, because we're already gonna have to send it out in January or whenever they send the next violation, whatever their
For
date
the
is.
overall,
Well, that's for the overall, it's not for the,
that one, yeah.
and we will find out the sample these next quarter, ones that are coming Thursday. It may be 3 weeks, a month. That's out of our control when we get the results back.
How long do you think it'll take the levels to get back to normal so we won't get another?
Some of them are already below the level. There's a few sample sites that are already below the sites. But there's a few that it's gonna take another, probably into quarter 1 of 26.
So there shouldn't be any skepticism or worry for the community once we continue to get these letters.
We're doing we're flushing more. We have more flushers that we've set out. Like I said, we're doing everything that we're required to do. We're following all the stipulations and the rules by TCEQ and EPA. And like I told everybody, they can call and have a conversation. Most of the phone calls we've received, we've explained it to them and they've understood. And like I said, we're not trying to hide anything. Everything is online. All our tests are online. And if you need to call, I can walk you through how to get there. And like I said, we have nothing to hide. I have no reason to lie to you or hide anything because I have family that live in town. So why would I want to put bad water out for family and friends? You know, so.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'd encourage any member of the public to contact Mr. Mitchell, contact the city manager, contact me. Because too many people are getting online. The original person doesn't have all the information. Then it's a game of telephone. Familiar with the game of telephone? I whisper something to Britton, he whispers something, and by the time it gets back to me, it ain't anything like what I originally said. So I'd ask the citizens to please contact the people, especially Mr. Mitchell, who knows what he's talking about in this situation. You've got how many licenses?
I have 2 or 3 right now and I'm working on some more, but I
Yeah.
mean, you don't have to take my word for it.
Yep.
You can call TCQ. That's why I have the numbers. It's posted on the city website now on the Facebook and I'm gonna have him update
Okay.
a few that I added to it. Call them. You can call National Institutes of Health. They got all kind of articles about this as well.
Right.
Simple Google search finds a whole lot about this. So
So please, ladies and gentlemen of the community, instead of going to Facebook for all your information, contact the people who know what's going on.
and if you want to refute my information I give you, then you make other phone calls and then we can discuss it there if I happen to give you the wrong, because I don't know it all. I'm still learning every day. So as I look it up, just like you have to on certain things, because it's not something we deal with on an everyday basis.
Thank you.
And
Yeah,
Mayor,
go ahead, please.
one thing, I would like to see if we could put this presentation on our website or on Facebook, or a summary or recap on Facebook or on our website to give some more transparency to this situation as well.
Just this portion where he's been speaking.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Right.
Just the water issue.
Yes. Yes. Because I read it on the internet, it must be true, you know, and sarcasm's intended. Any other council member?
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate
Thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
Great
Thank you.
presentation.
Letter C, discussion and possible action to approve the final payment to Texas Drainage for the ditch cleanout project. Ms. Dowden.
Mayor and City Council, attached is the final payment for the cleaning and reshaping of the drainage ditches in wards 3 and 4 via the TIPS State Approved Purchasing Cooperative. On March 24th, 2025, the City Council approved hiring Texas Drainage Incorporated for the first phase of the work for a total cost of $204,899.20 to be paid via the street department's contractual services. The invoice for Texas Drainage represents the final payment after a punch list was completed and approved by the street department supervisor. Texas Drainage's superintendent and Mr. Lancaster reviewed the completed work. There was additional footage added as Nederland Avenue from South 37th to Hardy and Hardy from Avenue A to H was added due to the initially approved streets draining into added areas. Which of those, the side streets were added. The side streets were draining into the additional streets that were added. The cost for the initial ditches was based on linear feet, and the actual feet increased the cost by $2,041.60. The additional ditches totaled $15,078.80, making the total project cost $222,019.60. Recommend approval.
I'll accept a motion.
Second.
Motion by Sonia, second by Duplant. Council, any discussion?
I'm not happy with the job they did.
I agree with that. I appreciate the ditch digging and I appreciate that, but I haven't really seen any changes. So.
I think by clearing the glass out, a lot of things, it cleared some areas up. Is it perfect right now? No, there's still some work, and we also got some work that's out of our control with DD7. Some ditches they're going to be working on as well, to help everything.
Any other member of council? Member of the public?
Hi,
Ms.
Joey
Shipley.
Shipley, 8765 Holmes Road. First, there was a question asked months ago, I believe it was by Mr. Bass, for a copy of the contract. And it was my understanding there was never a contract presented by Texas Drainage to the city of Nederland. If there is, I don't think any of us got to see it. It was also asked of Mr. Levens. I realize Sandy's here, not Mr. Levens, but, and he had said in the council meeting, he had not seen or reviewed a contract. So I'm not sure why we kept working after that point in time. The attorney ought to be reviewing the contracts prior to you voting on them and giving you the opinion, not after you vote on them and you're voting to approve contracts subject to the city attorney looking at it. Kind of doing that in reverse order, in my opinion, but to this specific contract, there is no written contract last time I understood. So what exactly did we contract for? Well, nobody knows, because that night in the meeting in March, it was simply a contract to dig the ditches. Nobody specified the shape, the equipment, the time, the distance, the price per foot. Now they've come up with an invoice, and the invoice says a price per foot. But it was not, and I'm looking on page 90 and 91 of your attachments. It seems that the cost was anticipated to be about 204,000. It says there was a punch list done and gone back. This will be my fourth time to tell you the ditch in front of 2016 Avenue C, right there in front of the monstrosity, was dug out once, and then it was backfilled the night Mr. Saunier got on the phone. It was in June, when they dug a trench out of their property to drain around the design system, all their water into the city ditch. It brought all the sludge and debris with it, and it filled that culvert back up. It filled that ditch back up. I've brought that up 1, 2, 3, fourth time tonight. That ditch still is not dug back out. So I don't know why we're paying another 93,000. And even if we paid the contract price, we voted for 204, not 222. So a difference of a little over 18,000. The DD7 ditches are completely different ditches. We were not paying to contract out to dig DD7 ditches. And I understand that their system does have an impact on our system. But that's completely outside of the scope of page 90 and 91 on this. I have never seen in a council meeting, I think I've missed one since February 8th this year. And I watched that one online. Thank you. But I have never seen invoices 1 through 4 for this to be a supplement of. So I don't know when you guys approved 1 through 4 or when that was done. I just looked over this today, so I tried to look through the minutes to find that, but I can't find where you all approved the first 4 invoices
Okay.
to now approve this.
Do we, was there a contract signed?
No, there was not. There was just the tips. It's a cooperative purchasing agreement listing the streets. It looked kind of like a quote more than anything. I never saw an invoice. I mean, I never saw a contract nor the requirements of the work to be done. But I will tell you that the other payments, so council approves the final payment and release of retainage on construction projects. This is just the final. All the other invoices are paid based on what council has approved previously to go in.
Do you have the dates of the approval of those invoices by chance?
I'm sorry, the
Previous.
dates they were paid.
Or we approved them, council approved them?
Council doesn't approve,
Approved.
they don't,
Payments.
Thank you.
Right.
Any excess.
Thank you.
or the final of any project.
Got it. Got it. So,
There was some additional between Avenue A and H that was added to it at first. We did in our budget meeting from the previous year when we put this in the budget, had the linear footage throughout the town and the different areas that's going to be done and the equipment to be used. That was discussed in the budget meeting we had, because that was placed in the budgets.
any other council member have anything to? Okay. Any other citizen? Okay. I will accept a motion in a second.
We had
That's
motion
right. We already
second.
did
We had
that.
motion
You're
second.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, you moved, he seconded. That's right. Thank you. We'll go to a vote now. All in favor of item C, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes
No.
have it. Okay.
No.
No, the ayes have it. Jones was no. I was reluctantly voted yes because we do have to pay our bills, but that doesn't preclude us from taking any action that we may deem necessary. And I, in my opinion, I was not here on March the 25th, I believe you said, and neither were you, Ms. Dowden, but I hope we don't have something like this again.
I wasn't here either. For the record.
The record will say there are 3 of it, and then 2 were there was also a previous city manager there.
Right. Thank you.
So we will cast our aspersions there. Item D, discussion and possible action to approve the final payment and release of retainage for the 2024 HMAC Street Program Project. Ms. Dowden.
Mayor and council, attached is the final payment and release of retainage in the amount of $104,172.51. At the June 10th City Council meeting, this is in 2024, the city awarded the 2024 HMAC Hot Mix Overlay Street Program bid to Texas Materials in the amount of $1,797,000. The scope included Canal Avenue, 19th Street, 21st Street, 20th, Queen from the dead end to the dead end. There was a change order approved in the amount of $178,445.80 on September the 23rd of 2024. There was another change order approved, change order 2 in the amount of $73,140 was approved December 9th, 2024. Excuse me. So Celtech Surveyors and Engineer has provided the following certificate, contractor certificate and release, contractor certificate of guarantee, notice of acceptability of work, contractor's affidavit of payment and debt claims to make sure they've paid all their subs and their employees, certificate of substantial completion, certificate of completion, and final payment application, including change order number 3, which is it's the final contract price based on quantities. In the final contract price is $6,953.45, which includes the 3 change orders. I recommend approval of the final release and payment of retainage in the amount of $104,172.51.
Okay, I'll accept a motion second, then we'll go to discussion after.
Move
that.
item D.
Second.
Motion by Jones, second by Ortiz to approve item D. Any member of council have questions or comments?
Yeah, I do. Looking through here, Ms. Dowden, these are all change orders that were already previously approved, correct?
The first 2 were, yes.
Okay.
The final one is just the quantity
Right.
settlement.
I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that. Thank you.
Any other member of council? Hearing, I'll ask, what were those streets again, Ms. Dowden? You were reading them and I was trying to
Yes.
picture where they were.
So it was to include Canal Avenue from 27th Street to Highway 69. Seattle from 18th Street to the dead end. 19th Street from Queen to Seattle. 21st Street from Queen to Seattle and 20th Street from Queen to Seattle. And Queen from the dead end to the dead end.
And all of that neighborhood was beaten up due to the construction at the high school.
Correct. And I think that is one of the reasons why it's taken so long to complete the work.
Traffic and everything.
Okay, that answered my question. Thank you. Any citizen have a question? Seeing none. All in favor of item D, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Was all ayes that time. Okay. E, discussion and possible action to approve ordinance number 2025-21, amending the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget. Ms. Dowden.
Mayor and Council, attached is a copy of ordinance 2025-21, which amends several items in the budget. It does not increase the budget. This is due to grants and donations that have been awarded and received by several departments, including Police, Fire, Animal Control, and Parks Department. It increases both revenues and expenditures due to the awarded funds. The Nederland Heritage Festival Foundation approved the following grants: the Police Department for the purchase of e-bikes, Fire Rescue, the purchase of escape packs, Animal Control, purchase of a dart gun, and Parks Department purchase of gym floor covering and storage rack. In addition, the Motiva first grant was awarded to both the Police Department and the Fire Department. The Police Department for the purchase of stop and bleed kits for $2,500 and Fire Rescue for the purchase of an escape pack for $3,000. This provides budgeted funds for them to be able to spend those funds.
We have to have approval, council approval to spend gift money. So
Yes, sir.
that's exactly
Because
why
it's
we're
not
doing it.
in the budget.
Right.
Yes.
That's why we're doing this, ladies and gentlemen. I'll
It's
accept,
basically putting it into the budget, right?
It's putting revenues in and
Revenues
expenditures
and
in.
expenditures.
From the donation. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just changing the budget, right?
Okay. no additional tax funds are being spent, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, for those that weren't here at the last meeting, the Heritage Festival presented that to us, so make sure you support the Heritage Festival because it brings money back to our city.
Absolutely.
And there was 38,000 some dollars they donated, so it wasn't a small chunk of change by any means. I'll accept a motion in a second.
Second.
I
It's Randy.
Okay, Ortiz and Senior. Motion is second. Any further discussion by council? Any discussion or questions by citizens? Hearing none. All in favor of spending the Heritage Festival's money, please say aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Item F, discussion and possible action approving ordinance number 2025-22, Texas Municipal Retirement System adjustment, including cost of living increases for retirees. Ms. Dowden.
Mayor and Council, attached is the proposed ordinance 2025-22 regarding the TMRS retirement system. It authorizes a non-retroactive repeating cost of living allowance for retirees and their beneficiaries and annually accruing updated service credits. Excuse me. The city's fiscal year 2025 2026 budget includes funds to implement the enhancement to include a 30% cost of living allowance. What that means is 30% of the consumer price index. It's a non-retroactive option to the city's current retirement plan. The last time a retiree COLA was adopted to the city's plan was in 1984. And no current retirees beneficiaries are receiving benefits from that period. Effective January 1st, 2026, the city's contribution shall increase from 7.92 to 11.27 of eligible salaries. The contribution increases is due in part to both increasing salaries and the retiree COLA option. Overall, the city's retirement fund is in a strong position. I recommend approval.
I'll accept a motion in a second.
Move item F.
Second.
Motion by Jones, second by Ortiz. Any discussion, council?
Very proud of this one. First time since 1984 for a cost of living adjustment.
And just in the last year, what we've been able to do for the employees also by absorbing the full cost of their portion of healthcare, which was done earlier in the year as well. So there's some good movement that's been taken care of to take care of our employees and take care of us.
Something I took away from when we did the budget workshop, when we had the presentation that was given to us when we were considering this, was how strong that our retirement fund was. And even moving forward with this non-retro COLA, we still remain in an extremely strong position. So very, very proud of that.
1984, I had a lot of hair and it wasn't gray.
Yeah.
All right. This year I graduated high school, for the record, and I'm now almost 60. That's been a long time ago, 42 years since they've had a cost of living.
Oh man, that was yesterday.
Yeah, I think so. It was 11 years before you were born. I don't know what you're talking
So you
about.
wasn't born yet.
That's it. No, not even close. Okay, any member of the public? Okay, all in favor of giving our retirees a raise, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Retirees, y'all are getting a raise in January. Item G, discussion and possible action amending transfer of sewer certificate of convenience and necessity, CCN, to Water District 10 for 2005 Peterson. Ms. Dowden.
Mayor and council, I'm just going to kind of briefly summarize what has taken place. I received a call from Mrs. Dora Manriquez, the owner of the property located at 2005 North Peterson Street, which is the site of the future 10 de Mayo Mexican restaurant, who has requested a tap for sewer service. I did a lot of research. This is the only property on Peterson that the city has the CCN for and was serving sewer. There has been problems with that sewer line. We understood Joey Mitchell was going to be here to explain it. He had a bad water leak and left, but I'll try and explain it. And I have Tommy McDonald with Water District 10 here as well to answer any of your questions. But we determined, from the best we could determine, the building on Peterson, it was a church at one time. It was, according to everything we could find, it was hooked up into a force main line owned by Sunoco. We do not know how it happened, but it was there. And so they were being billed for sewer service. However, their grinder pumps keep failing because it's going into force main. And so in order for us to do a new sewer tap, it would cost the city a lot of money for that one property. And so let me see if I can go through the rest of it. So city staff met with Water District representatives who had been approached also by Ms. Manriquez, and it was discussed the Water District accepting the sewer service. It's a lot closer for them. And that's if their board was amenable. Mr. McDonald stated his board were agreeable if the city approved, because it is our CCN. And the property owner was willing to connect to their service line. Because the city has water service CCN for several properties on North Peterson, if the city agrees to amend the sewer CCN to remove this property, the city will need to provide the water usage to the Water District so they can bill for the sewer service. Mr. McDonald was here if y'all have any questions.
Mr. McDonald, come on up.
Mayor, council, Cheryl. Yes, we met about this and last Thursday, our elected officials, Water District 10 Board of Directors did approve to serve sanitary sewer. It's right there on Spring Street. It's fairly close compared to what the city has been doing for years. So she gave a really good description. We all kind of know a little bit about it, but not a whole lot. There was actually, I think, septic tanks for years. And there's still septic tanks in the vicinity for about 4 homes that are remaining. So I think most of us would like to see a restaurant come to light. They're trying. We're not saying they did it right. They didn't. But they did come to the city and they came to me and said, okay, we've messed this up. We need to get the lights on. Actually, the lights are on at night, but the restaurant's not open. Since last Thursday, the county and I have made numerous inspections and the restaurant is pretty much ready to go. The grease trap is there and everything on the sanitary sewer side. And like we said, we think it'd be best, just leave things alone, keep it simple. Amend the CCN just for sewer. We'll leave it alone for water. Water District 10 engineer can do that. It's just a simple letter. We'll CC the city. That's funny. CC the city, the CCN. Once it's done, it's just a letter to TCQ.
Alphabet abounds. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's a bunch. That was quite impressive. I'm a retired federal employee. That was a lot of acronyms. Very good. Okay, so at this time, did anybody have any questions for?
I mean, really, the only thing the city's doing is we're sending them their water bill volume every month so they can bill on the sewer. It's a no-brainer.
Yes, because my understanding, if we don't release it, we will be spending a lot of money
I'm not in favor of that.
They're
for
willing
one
to-
property.
They're willing.
So is that property in the city?
It is
No,
not.
sir, it's
So we're
not in
just
Water
providing
District
them
10.
sewer
It's
and
not in the
water,
city.
so we're switching.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think
Gray
it was a
area
city.
over there.
Yeah. I didn't know this until a little over 2 weeks ago. Nothing on Peterson is either in the city, I knew that, or in Water District 10. And about 6 properties on this side of Spring Street are not in Water District 10. And certainly not in the city. So it's totally no man's land, a gray area.
They want to be annexed.
We'd have to have every property owner agree to
Just
that.
picking, no rumors. Just picking.
Didn't you remember that course at your newly elected officials training in
Yeah,
San Antonio by an annexation? Okay,
Yeah, that's where that came from.
right, yeah.
Yeah, Mayor, I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Do we have a motion by Saunders, second by Duplant to approve item G? Any other from council? Anything from citizens? Seeing or hearing nothing, all in favor of G, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now to H.
And now to H.
Item H. All right.
That's going to be the agenda from October 13th.
Yes, the October 13th minutes. It's going to be and by. It's on your. Yeah, item I. A motion was made by Councilmember Shanier and seconded by Councilmember Duplant to grant extension until October 31st, 2025 to Johnny Powell to comply with city directives. I voted no on item I. The minutes currently reflect that I voted yes. So I'd like to propose that amendment to the minutes.
Well, you know how you voted, so without objection, I will order that.
Okay.
Okay, so the item for H that was approved. Okay, now it says adjourn, but I want to say something real quick. It looks like we're going to have a new interim city manager beginning Monday of next week. Mr. Bruce Mills, who has a lengthy career in city management in Austin. He rose from patrolman to assistant chief of police. And he served in several entities in the city of Austin after retiring from Austin PD, and he's served in other cities on an interim basis since then. I want to thank interim city manager Cheryl Dowden for the nearly 6 months.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you.
Teaching me a lot of things, a rookie mayor, doesn't know from Shinola, you know, the rest of it. Actually, I knew a few things. I knew theoretically stuff, but practicality, you've given me a grad level seminar in city administration, and your knowledge of finance is second to none.
Thank you, Mayor
And,
and council and citizens. I appreciate you.
It's been a privilege working with you. And,
Same here.
but you're not going to actually be gone. You're going to transition into like a special projects, some unfinished business you want to finish before you ride off back into the retirement sunset.
That is my hope.
And so,
Provide some turnover as well to the incoming interim manager.
yeah, you'd be some showing him the ropes of
Right.
what's going, because he's never worked in the city of Needle. And I don't know if he's been here ever before. So, but he sounds like a smart man, and he'll be here for a few months, but I just wanted to say that. And it's a good thing I'm leaving town tomorrow, so you can't kill me tomorrow for doing that. Yeah, it's okay.
Cheryl, thanks for everything, and congratulations on your promotion back into retirement. So.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
I'm afraid she's never gonna answer a phone call from me again.
There being no further business before us at 6:30 PM, I declare them, what you want? Hold on, put my eyes on it. You talk about it, Randy.
So
Your notes.
the last meeting we had when we were dealing with the company to do the survey for the water plant, we had challenged them on their pricing. They dropped that by 10%, which is a little over $7,000. So it does not hurt to ask and try to keep our funds for other things we need. So I want to share that with the audience there.
Thank you. It being 6:31 PM, I now declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.